Yeah, no, I got this.
You sure? Because your brain's a little,
As someone who has now done a podcast without Gary, he has got this.
It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. So won't you lend an ear?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Meandering Movie Podcast, where we're meant to be talking about horror films, and I don't know how much of that intro is going to get left in, but it was...
None of it. Absolutely none of that will be left
mostly
in.
Back to the Future chat.
Apparently Phil has edited our whole last episode, so I reckon most of that... If our last episode got edited, Phil's probably going to edit most of that intro. He's really dropping for what he cares.
The thing I want to know is...
right now.
He's letting through the cracks.
The thing I want to figure out is, who is this Phil person he keeps going on about?
Audio boy.
And we also know as well, because we have it recorded, that you're the first person to say his name on the podcast, so... Shop.
Absolutely not.
This week we're going to finish up our horror
exploration
two-parter. I was going to say trilogy, and then I was like, wait, what's the name? Sequel.
Our double
The
penetration
sequel
of
to
horror.
our horror movie episode.
Double penetration of horror.
Have you ever noticed that horror films, the second one's always named something stupid as fuck?
The Exorcist, double penetration.
Aliens.
That's not stupid. That's really
That's
smart.
dumb.
I like that. It's not
But then
dumb.
it thematically makes sense because Alien, and in the second one there is more than one.
There's more than one alien.
There's a comedy, I think
Then
there's a comedy
Halloween
sketch or a stand-up bit.
H2O.
Yeah, that was shit.
There's a comedy sketch or a stand-up bit where someone's talking about like James Cameron walks into Fox and he just writes Alien on a whiteboard, and then they're all sitting there going, all right, cool. And he just writes out an S and turns it into a $sign and drops the pen and walks out. And I'm like, that's exactly how James Cameron sold Aliens to Fox.
James Cameron's not that smart.
He's kind of... No, he's not smart.
He's I mean, he's...
At this point,
he
he
signed
needs
off
to-
on the latest Terminator film being...
But he signed off in the last three, so it doesn't mean
No. But
anything.
he signed off on the latest Terminator film as the official sequel to Terminators 1 and 2.
Yeah, but so was
And
Terminator 3 and Terminator Genesis.
No, but he's gone back on them. He's pulled a...
Yes, I know,
he's
but
pulled a
here's the
Halloween.
problem. In the promotion for Terminator Genesis, he's like, this is the official sequel now, this is so good. And then it's just like, okay, James, we'll listen to you. James, like,
He
I know.
definitely gets his friends to call him Jim as well.
Yeah, Jim.
Jim Cameron.
Jim
And then-
Cameron.
Well, no, Jim Kimmerer, probably. That's what he goes by.
No, no, his name is just...
that might be the funniest thing I've ever said on this podcast.
that's not
Jim Cameron.
Jim Kimmerer. That's funny. If you're going to shorten James to Jim, then you'd shorten Cameron to Kimmerer.
I think you just... That's not shortened. It's the same length. You just changed a letter.
Do you know who else shortened his name to Jim? Captain James T. Kirk
Fuck
of the Star
off.
Trek
I knew you were
Enterprise.
going to fucking say that. Last week we
Explored
spoke
horror.
about the history of horror. We talked
Yeah.
about the evolution. Primarily, we talked about the evolution of horror, how it came from a slow creeping, kind of shitty films that.
Night of the Living Dead, Nosferatu.
Yeah, they
films
were all
like that.
about the tension built, and slowly
Exorcist.
progressed through into the kind of cheesy worlds of the 80s horror slasher movies,
Your Friday the 13th, your Nightmare on Elm Street,
and then how 90s brought us Scream,
The Hills Have Eyes.
and a shit ton of zombie
What are
movies,
these?
basically. And they became a bit more jump frighty. So we're going to jump in with two things we're going to try and talk about, I think. First one being what the state of horror films today.
Okay.
And secondly, what our favourite horror films have been of the last, 10, 20 years? Something
Sure.
like that. Noughties onwards, basically. And we're going to...
And I love to get naughty.
My input on that is going to be so goddamn minimal.
I remember last week you said, I'm going to go watch some horror films. I'll have plenty to input this week. So, Ryan, you start us off.
I really like the film. I'm going to think of a word, and it's definitely a horror film. The
You know the best thing is?
Gathering.
You could have gone for The Thing.
No, but you said I love the film The Thing, but that's not.
Everyone loves to film the thing because it's...
What about The Stuff?
The Stuff? The Gathering. I bet that's a horror
The
film.
Gathering sounds like it could be...
The
like
Gathering definitely sounds
Audio,
like a
can,
horror
you,
movie.
can you Google that? Is that a audio? Is
The
that
Ritual?
Yeah, it sounds like a cult-like film.
The Gathering.
The Gathering.
Yeah, it's definitely that's my favorite. I love that
That's
one.
actually... on point. Funnily enough, we've come around. That seems to be a trend currently in horror movies.
Is it?
The Gathering.
Yeah, fucking
2002.
love The Gathering.
Starring Christina Ricci.
Renée Zellweger's in it.
Nope.
And,
Christina Ricci.
I don't know.
Renée Zellweger and Hugh Grant.
And that guy that played Mr. Fantastic.
You're thinking of Bridget Jones's Diary.
Which Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah, which Mr. Fantastic? I'm also
Not Miles
intrigued by
Teller,
that.
so the guy...
The Welsh one.
Yeah, the Welsh guy.
The one
I
who's
can
in
never
100
remember how to pronounce his
101
name.
Dalmatians.
Is he in 101 Dalmatians?
Yeah, he's the guy in 101 Dalmatians.
Is he? No,
Yeah.
it's Hugh Laurie, is it not?
No, he's the baddie. He's one of the baddies.
Oh, yeah, he's one of the baddies.
Jasper.
Jasper. Yeah, he is. No, and then Ron Weasley's dad.
You know what I think is the biggest
I should probably start
disappointment?
learning the names of some actors.
The biggest,
I'm
don't
the
worry,
same
I'm
as
here
you,
for
mate.
that. The biggest disappointment of my life is that my name isn't Jasper.
Jasper's a...
Mental.
No.
You need to really think about your life. if
Yeah,
that's
no,
a disappointment.
I was going to agree with you there, and I thought, no, fuck being named Jasper.
I would like to be called
Jasper Stewart. You sound like a rapist.
Well, we don't need to keep the second name. We could
Jasper
just-
Stewart.
I could just be Jasper.
If you,
Just
if you,
Jasper.
Just Jasper.
If your name was Jasper, I'd constantly refer to you as Jasper the Friendly Ghost. You do realise that.
And you need to get called that or Asper. Ass Whisperer. That probably evolved into.
How did you go there? that
It
descended
happened so quickly. Yeah, Ass Whisperer.
Ass Whisperer. Done. Ass Whisperer Stewart.
Ass Whisperer.
And you know the worst thing about this? You brought it upon
I
yourself.
know, I do it to myself every time. I just
What's my ass saying?
help me. I think is what it's saying.
Tell him no more beans.
No more wet wipes.
This is taking a turn.
It's like a swamp down here.
No, the wet wipes clean it out. They're cool and refreshing. I use the lemon scented ones.
But then
This is my vocal resignation.
They're
from
bad
the
for
podcast.
the sewage system because they just all clog together and make like big travelling balls of.
What are you doing with the wet wipes? Just jamming them in there
I
one
don't
at a
use wet
time?
wipes.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
I use toilet paper like a normal human being.
Who calls it toilet paper?
Me. A
TP.
normal human being called Jasper. Jasper uses toilet paper, that's who uses it.
Whatever, Ass Whisperer. Let's carry on.
Audio Boy's making a face of none of this is coming into the podcast.
He's doing his cut face.
He's saying he's-
What the fuck were we talking about?
I love The
Gathering.
Gathering.
So Ryan loves the movie The Gathering
With Renée Zellweger and
Christina
Mr.
Ricci
Fantastic.
and Mr.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
and what I was going to say is that the current trend in horror movies, it seems, is like cult-esque. Like, so there was The Ritual.
Yes,
You see that last year?
didn't see it, but I know I know of the
Like
film.
genuinely a good horror film for the first
A
time.
lot of,
in a
I've
while.
heard from a lot of people it's good.
And then you had the Witch.
The Vitch, thank you very much.
Vitch.
The
Directed
Vitch.
The Witch.
by I can't remember his first.
Midsummer, which is
Midsommar.
less of a horror.
Ari Aster directed
I
that
think
one.
I think it falls into the kind of category.
I mean, some of the films that you've started to name might be on someone's list, so you could just hold off.
All right.
Yeah, they're on mine now.
You've never seen The Vitch.
I'll be definitely describing it like I have, though.
The
It's that one with the
Vitch.
horror stuff in it.
It is that one. But then, for me, so anyway, I think there are fundamentally two solid horror categories as of today, at least.
Okay.
You've got the ones that just want to jump fright the fuck out of you.
They
Like,
wanna-
and they are getting better. And like, funnily enough, I think jump frights nowadays are some of the best jump frights I've had in years. I saw the Slender Man movie.
You poor man.
It is fucking terrible, but it has one of the best jump frights I've had in any film watching experience.
Because when the credits start rolling and you wake up.
No, man, I'm not joking. It has a jump, like it's a jump fright. They're not. Your film can be dog shit, but you can still have a good jump fright. Because what it does is the camera's showing you a window, and the window's on the right hand side of the screen.
Spoilers.
It is big spoilers here, guys. The window's on the right hand side of the screen, and shit's happening at the window. It's like the trees are blowing, and your focus is 100% on this window on the right hand side of the screen. Then the camera starts turning, and you kind of think, "Oh fuck, it's gonna," you know what I mean? You're like, "Oh, it's gonna jump out of the window, or it's gonna come from the left where the camera's turning." And I can't remember where it comes from in the end, but it's none of the places that you're focusing on whatsoever, and it comes at you like in such a way that I remember being in the cinema, and I do not jump fright because I always know exactly where it's about. You know, you feel it building up, you know when it's going to happen, and it hung up me on the hook for so long, and then it gave it to me in a way that I wasn't expecting. That I was like, "Oh, fuck, shit, got me good."
So it's like what I mentioned in the previous episode about The Exorcist 3, where it's a scene that plays with your expectations, makes you expect something.
Yeah.
Goes on for such an amount of time that your expectations start to dull, and you're like, "Oh, I guess I'm." And then that's when it gets you when you're starting to either drift or focus on something different.
Totally.
That is a good jump scare.
And it's
shame it
straight
was
up
on
was.
Slender Man. A
Oh
movie I
man,
will
it is
never
a shame
see.
it's Slender Man.
See, I just like,
Joey King, the up and coming actress, was also in Slender
I
Man.
hate jump frights. I don't hate horror films. I just don't like them.
It's fair.
But then, so I'm always ready, and I refuse to let them catch me out. So people are like, "Oh, I really enjoyed the story in that film." I'm like, What story? I was too busy watching the background
You're
in
too
case
busy
someone
just, like,
jumped out on me.
gripping the seat.
I'm not listening to anything anyone's saying. I'm just focusing on the peripherals.
Because that's the unfortunate and long running trend now in horror movies, when something's happening and then all the sound cuts out,
Yeah.
and the camera slowly just dollies in, and you're just sitting and going like, can we just get this over with?
Yeah,
like, I know
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
doing now, and then it goes wah and makes some sort of rapid noise when something jumps out the screen. It's like, sure, you made me jump,
Can we
but
have that noise once more?
wah. But as an experience,
Nagarates me 3 times.
what?
Nagarates me 3 times
3
in a row.
times
Okay.
in succession. Quick succession. No, like one after the other.
Wah wah wah. We make good content here.
I've just found myself a new ringtone.
Come on, we're on Spotify now. We need to.
We are
Yeah.
on Spotify. now.
Conjuring 2 pulls that. Conjuring 2 has a scene where there's a tent and there's a kid walking up to the tent and a fire truck rolls out, which was creepy, builds dread. And then it's just an old man who screams and they rack
big is
the
this
volume
tent?
up. Huh?
A toy fire truck.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Just
full
an
fire
entire
truck.
fire
I'm like,
truck
what the
comes
fuck?
flaming out of the tent. That would be a good jump scare, because
It
I would
would.
never expect a full fire truck to come out of a tent.
But it then this old man screams and it's like a proper old horrible scream. But they just crank the volume up to 11. And I remember even my laptop,
Yeah.
the sound just started like topping out and peaking. And I was in bed and it reached a point where I went, oh, I'm not even scared. That's just fucking
Uncomfortable.
loud."
I mean,
Like,
you see it now with a lot of horror trailers. It's, once again, a long and unfortunate running trend, which is horror movies. There's like, here's a bunch of people being scared and they're sweaty and they're running around. We're scared. And then every horror movie, and then it shows the title of the film and it cuts to one last scene and it's always supposed to be like their juiciest jump scare, and it just sits there. And there's like a recent one from,
Yeah.
I've no idea what the movie is, but the girl's lying in bed and then she lifts up the covers and it's really quiet and slow, and then something comes out of it. It's just like,
that was-
Annabelle comes home.
Annabelle-
there we go,
Comes
Annabelle
Home.
Comes Home.
Yeah.
Was all that gem of a franchise right there, just putting out shite after shite.
Conjuring 1 is good. Everything after that, I'm with you. I've told you this though. The first
I know.
Conjuring is a good film.
I love Patrick Wilson. I like James Wan.
Watch it. Oh, it's so weird as well. The Annabelle series is even a thing because The Conjuring has like a full 7-minute film in The Conjuring about the Annabelle, and it is quite literally like a short film, and it's perfect. It's like a perfect level of dread and creep and scariness. There's not even a jump fright in that 7-minute section. It's just this unnerving story about the doll, and it's perfect. And then they've taken it further, and now the doll's possessed by the demon child of a junkie and fucking God knows what else.
I think that's probably a whole separate episode. It's like it's so popular in cinema that people just don't know when to wrap it. Just stop.
No, they don't need to. The fucking Conjuring series now has Annabelle, The Curse of Lilonia. It's got another one called The Crooked Man.
Is the one
coming
the
out.
Nun or something?
The Nun, and they're both from The Conjuring 2. And it's like, stop it.
I've seen none of them.
Ah.
Yeah, you don't need to.
That wasn't a pun.
You don't need to see
Sorry.
any of them, but do watch Conjuring 1.
I think it's on Prime.
It's a good horror. It's good levels of everything.
But
Everything.
we have been in it for a long time now in this trend of horror movies, and I think it really became bad when the movie you like, Paranormal Activity, came out. I think that's when there was a shift, like a
'cause I think
noticeable
Paranormal-
shift in horror movie.
Yeah.
and the way they are.
I 100% agree,
done.
and I think Paranormal Activity and The Conjuring came out, I think, very close to each other. The Conjuring does horror as a theme much better, and Paranormal Activity is really good jump frights. And I think the first one, and I know I've said this plenty of times, I do like the first Paranormal Activity. But it definitely lent more into we're just going to ramp up the kind of jumps
I mean, yeah,
more and more.
There's two reasons why I think Paranormal Activity and that type of horror movie went on to be the one that Shooter's made. And number one is Blumhouse made that movie for like nothing. And made hundreds of millions of dollars back.
Is it not? I think technically, it's one of the most like percentage-wise
because of
profitable films ever
how
made.
cheap it was and for the money it made back.
Like
So
it
studios are like,
doesn't fades in comparison to Endgame, but on a percentage scale, it's up there as one of the best.
It funded so many more movies for Blumhouse, both in the Paranormal Activity franchise and going forward. I think the guy himself said, like, because of Paranormal Activity, that's why we were able to like get movies like Get Out made and stuff like that, because we were able to go forward and fund movies like that in the future because we made smarter investments. And then the other reason the Paranormal Activity films caught on is because it's like your Marvel movies. It's just so easy that you can just churn out the same thing over again. Of just like a door closes, people jump.
Yeah.
The curves move, people jump. But then you look over something like, I can't comment on The Conjuring, but I'll say a movie like The Witch, which is one of the best horror movies of the last 19 years, where that's just a film of slow, creeping dread
Well, and that's
that plays on the psychology of
Yeah.
your mind rather than just going. Because I don't think there's probably no jump scares
I don't think there is. I think
in The Witch.
The Witch, Hereditary, Midsummer, It Follows has one jump scare, but I remember reading something about that in the director when they made that film and then test audiences complained because there wasn't a jump fright, and they went, well, no, that's not the kind of horror we're making. So they felt pressured into including one single jump fright.
They filmed it like on his iPhone. Like, we will just fire this one in.
It's such a fucking stupid jump fright as well.
Is it the
because
one in
it's-
the house when like
she's in the bathroom and then she looks out and you think you're going to see it and she doesn't, and then some kid's ball hits the window.
Oh yeah,
And you kind of go, oh, fuck. But it's, you're
Yeah,
jumping
'cause
at a ball hitting a window.
It Follows is more like a study of the treatment of sex in horror films and how it's been used, and that's its main theme. Whereas, or my interpretation of its theme, it's not a jump scary
No.
monster. I mean, it's still a great horror movie, but it's not your conventional horror movie. But God, that score is so good.
So, and
Just go listen to the score of It Follows, or just watch it. It's just good.
and that was going to be my other point, that we've got the Conjurings, we've got Paranormal Activity, then they're pulling the
big bucks and
the
stuff.
big, the big bucks, and they're pulling the jump frighties, because I think that's what people want. Well, that's what they think they want. They want to be frightened, and what a lot of people
It's like your
translate that
superhero
to
movies.
is
It's-
like what you're saying is frightened is me getting a bunch of jumps in quick succession.
Yeah.
Whereas you've got the other films, which we're now perfecting the craft on, which are the Hereditary,
The big thinkers. They make you like, it takes you past the film.
Yeah.
You watch it, but then you're thinking about it for ages afterwards.
Because I would recommend everyone watch The Witch because it's so
that bit with the baby.
yeah, it's so smart. But I understand why a general audience would sit there and just be like, "Oh, this is."
Fuck is this?
But it's like it's a movie you think about while watching it and after seeing it, and it's such a disturbing look into religion and the handling of females within
Yeah.
religion, and especially in the time that it's set as well. And the performances are just fucking. It's just a great British cast. Plus the main Anya Taylor-Joy is American, but the rest are all British. And it's like such a good movie. And it just looks so good. And God, I can't wait for his new movie, The Lighthouse.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it as well.
So excited.
Apparently-
Are you?
Yeah. I'm really excited for that.
I can't tell if you're joking or
should-
not.
No, I
you should
actually really am.
absolutely watch his first film, The Witch.
Okay. But I am excited for the Lighthouse.
It's just The Witch. Gavin's being a dick.
Nope, it's The Witch.
It's The Witch.
You just sound like you're being really racist towards German
It's
people.
spelled with two V's. It's The Witch.
Well, if you're going to say it with two V's, it would be The Witch.
The Witch.
No, two V's. The Witch.
Do you want to do this?
I'm just saying, if
Okay.
you're going to do it wrong right.
I'm doing it right.
You ain't doing it right.
I am. You're doing it wrong. I'm doing it right.
The
Can you
Witch.
resign twice? What? Apparently, The Lighthouse starts with a furious masturbation scene.
Please be Willem Dafoe. Please be Willem Dafoe.
Well, it's obviously
The
not-
ultimate horror.
It's not Willem Dafoe because if you noticed that Robert Pattinson in most of the film, in fact, I'm pretty sure Twilight's probably the only film he's done where he doesn't have a furious masturbation scene.
Let me think about
Twilight?
that for a sec.
He doesn't
Is
have
Willem
one in
Dafoe in
Twilight.
Twilight?
No, Robert, what's his face?
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, Robert Pattin is knob as he's going to start getting called.
Apparently, according to Robert Pattinson, he is
Patterson. Pretty sure it's Pattinson.
We're back to pedophile again, aren't we? How I say that?
It's paedophile.
Pedophile.
Are you from the Americans?
Shut up, Robert.
Stop being such a little bitch about this.
Robert Pattinson is apparently moulding his Batman voice on the voice that Willem Dafoe does in The Lighthouse. And I'm very interested by it because it's a ye old English kind of voice that Willem Dafoe is doing in The Lighthouse. So I can't wait to see the ye old English version of Batman in Gotham City.
I can wait.
Yeah, you can wait.
I'm stoked for Batman. Bat Pat.
You never know, it could be a great horror Batman movie. It won't be, but imagine it was.
What are they? No, the next Court of Owls is the next game, right? That they've said they're going to be doing the storyline.
Yeah, I
of.
think so.
The Avalanche is doing, not Avalanche.
No, Rocksteady.
Montreal one.
Infirmary, isn't
The
it?
ones who did Arkham Origins.
Oh, is it them?
Yeah, they're doing it.
That's not
Rocksteady are like, hey, we want to do anything else.
But the Rocksteady ones were so good.
I know.
They were good.
They captured the essence of Batman the best.
See if they just turned the first Arkham game, maybe minus the Joker thing at the end.
Joker Hulk.
Yeah.
Joker Hulk.
God, that was so
Maybe
bad.
minus that into a film, that would be so good.
I mean, hey, you want to talk about horror? Batman Arkham Asylum, when I thought the game had crashed and reset and I'd lost all my progress.
It was
but
Scarecrow.
It's a Scarecrow hallucination? Fuck me.
They really,
I mean-
like, the Scarecrow hallucinations in the Batman games reminded me of what they did with Mysterio and, like,
Far
From Home. It was really good.
Originally, when Ben Affleck was playing Batman and he was going to direct and write the solo film,
The Batman.
his plan was to do an Arkham Asylum, like Batman is trapped in Arkham Asylum, and he was going to do a rogues gallery, and it was going to be like him with very little gadgets, like beaten down and having to fight back to get out. And I'm just like, that sounds amazing.
It's just
does
him
sound
wandering
good.
about looking for little Riddler trophies.
Exactly. The entire time. I was sitting there for 20 minutes. How the fuck do I get that Riddler trophy?
Alfred, I need to hit these 3 buttons in a row, but they're separated by great.
Send me the Game Boy.
But yeah, so instead of
Bad
doing that,
Game Boy.
instead of doing that, DC decided to do Suicide Squad. So that worked out well.
Oh, and aren't we in a better world?
Oh,
because of
aren't
it?
we in just the gorgeous world of
Birds of
post-Suicide
Prey
Squad?
looks like such a fucking shit.
Don't,
Yeah, it does.
you gotta love Warner Brothers and DC's. Be like, Suicide Squad came out. Yes, it made a shit ton of money, but God, no one liked it. Do you know what we should do? Another one.
Another one, with Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, who looks
Apparently,
like
they're
a
listening
comic
to
book
too
character.
much DJ Khaled, and you just thought he's got the right idea.
I
Another
still
one.
refuse to listen to Phil and that her hyenas aren't called shits and giggles.
God, I just slammed my beer against the mic.
They're called Phil and Lou, right?
Lou
Or something.
and
It's like Alvin,
Abbott and Costello.
Alvin
Bud
Costello.
and Lou.
Bud and Lou. That's shits and giggles is fucking much better.
So let's talk about tippity top of the list horror films faves.
Well, I've already mentioned and talked about the Vitch.
What one? Sorry,
The Vitch.
I've not heard of it.
Okay.
I feel like you're adding an accent to
I
it
am
now.
now. I've added an accent. I'll spice it up a wee bit. Directed by Robert Eggers. Came out in
2012.
2015.
Ah,
Would highly recommend.
okay.
Next,
Well, I've got like a lot here. Do you want me to just say them all?
yeah,
Okay.
Say them all and talk about none of them. That's
Okay.
what we'd like.
That's what you'd prefer. That's what everyone would prefer. So It Follows.
is that number one? The Witch.
I didn't rank them. I just put them. I just wrote them down as I thought about them.
Give me a 9 out of 10. Give me a rating system.
Wow.
Well, you know I'm not.
Give
gonna,
me out of Gavins, 5 Gavins. How many Gavins does it get?
Five Gavins is bad, by the way.
Oh, okay. What?
Well, the
Gavin?
less Gavins you have, the better.
better.
Oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. As you explained it to me, I thought, yeah, I agree. That's absolutely fair.
But you're not going to care about us shitting on Gavin, are you, Jasper?
Thank you. Please call me Jasper for the rest of the night.
Whisperer.
Ass whisperer.
Well, I have a sense of what our quiz name is going to be later tonight. So I've got It Follows. I've got The Vitch.
The what?
The Vitch. I have Under the Shadow. I've Train to Busan. The Babadook. It Comes at Night. Krampus. Raw. Midsummer. The Mist. And Suspiria.
Krampus.
Krampus.
The Christmas themed.
I know what Krampus is. And I've actually seen that film. And it was fucking boring.
Well, that's why we found it on Gavin's list, haven't we?
So go on, talk about. So I'm trying to think. You went through them so quickly, I couldn't even process what you said. So we got The Witch. We had.
Under the Shadow. It's an Iranian horror film about a. What?
It's just like.
The most Gavin thing you could have said.
Yeah,
It's an Iranian horror film.
It's an Iranian horror film directed by a really unknown director who's
Filmed-
going big places at the Cannes Festival
filmed
next year.
underwater on a Motorola Razor.
Well, interestingly, Under the Shadow was directed by and funded by a British production company, and the director was British, but he set and filmed it in Iran during the conflict during the continuing conflict, but it was set during the 80s between Israel and Iran, and it's a bomb that drops onto their roof, and with the bomb it brought some sort of ghostly entity, and it starts haunting the house, and it's just a mother and her child.
Or haunting?
Haunting. Also hunting, actually.
Oh,
so
okay.
both. And it's a mother and her child.
But it's a metaphor for grief, by the sounds of things.
Nope. The
No,
father.
the bomb just has a ghost in it.
Yeah, have you not heard about these Palestinian bombs? They're the bomb, literally.
Oh, yeah. I also said Iran and Israel, and it's a Palestine and
Yeah, do you know how
Israel.
you used to say, like,
Iran,
do you know how you
what's
used to say,
difference?
like, you used to be like, all right, why don't you nuke them? Now it's like, hey guys, let's fucking spook them.
That's a joke of the show right there.
So fuck you, my Jim Cameron.
No, that's getting cut.
That's funnier the second time you said it. I was trying to think of what you said, and then you said, I was like, yeah, that was funny.
So and it is just quite literally a ghost with a bomb attached.
It's a bomb with a ghost attached. The ghost isn't.
How did he attach it to the bomb?
No, it's like
There
it just.
no. There must be a reason.
There is a reason.
What's the
and
metaphor?
maybe you should watch the film and
No,
find
just
out.
fucking tell me.
It's
I'm
on
never
Amazon
going to watch
Prime.
this wanky fucking film.
It's not a wanky. It's a good horror film.
What's it called?
Under the Shadow.
That doesn't make sense.
Gav,
I
just
promise you, it's a
He
good.
had shown me the trailer before, and it was terrifying.
It's a good horror film.
Under the Shadows.
Under the Shadow.
What about Into
Not
the
plural,
Shadows?
Just Under the Shadow.
Seen Into the Shadows?
Sing Under the Shadows like the song from The Little Mermaid.
Under the Shadows.
That was so culturally inappropriate.
Hey, you asked me to do it.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd actually do
You
it.
supported it. We'll all just pause so Gary can look up Under the Shadow on his phone.
I'm looking
Again,
it up. Under the
Gary
Shadow.
bringing the visuals to the podcast.
You guys can keep talking. I'm just looking at this bomb ghost house.
If you want the next one I can talk about, it's a movie called Raw. It's a French cannibalistic horror movie.
I bet that's not even the next one on your list. You just found the next wank one on your list.
Yeah. In fact, the Train to Busan's a Korean film.
I think I've seen Train to Busan. That's
It's a
the
zombie
zombie
movie?
one, right? That's
Yeah.
a really good zombie film, actually.
Really good zombie
Really
movie.
good
One of the
film.
best zombie movies of the last 10 years, without a
Yeah.
doubt. Like,
I know how you can't like a film without making some grandiose statement about it. Any film you like is like, yeah, it's the best film I've ever seen while in my stripy pants.
I'm
He's
sorry.
not wrong, actually.
I like-
Everything you like, you're like, yeah, it's probably the best of
Do you
the
know why?
last.
Because the things I like are good, and the things I don't like are really bad.
Yeah, it's probably the
That's
worst
the
thing
one
I've
thing I've
seen
noticed
since
is
that
I-
last bad thing I saw.
I was talking to Davey about this
Oh,
before.
no.
No, it's straight because the problem I've got with you when you don't like something is here. So let's just talk about the Babadook, which you love, yeah.
Yeah, one of
So
the-
give me what you love about the Babadook, and I'm gonna react the same way you react to things I like.
Okay.
One of
you
the best
don't.
films in the last century.
So go on, give me
About a
your, like
Babadook.
just a little synopsis of why it's great.
The Babadook is one of the best.
Nope.
Yeah, but that's
No!
Nope.
Nope.
I see what
Nope.
I saw what you're doing. I know what's happening. Yeah, but that's
Nope.
in a situation
Nope.
where
Nope.
we're at a pub.
It's been on the fucking podcast, Gavin. You've done it multiple times when I've been saying I like something.
Yeah, but sometimes you say like I like Moana, and I'm just like, really?
What's wrong with Moana?
It's just
What is wrong with
so-
Moana?
What
How
is wrong with
dare
Moana?
you?
It's just so
How dare you.
nothing. It looks nice.
Yeah, it's not as good as the Davabok or whatever.
The fucking Babadook.
The Jabberwocky.
I think the thing is, man,
Jabberwocky.
I think the Babadook's on this list for you, and it's the one I'm going to disagree with anyway, because I fucking watched that film and just thought this is a pile of wank.
That's the wee boy one with the big hang with the top hat, right?
It's shit.
Yeah, it sounds shit.
It's proper
It was
shit.
also like the last thing you said in the last podcast.
What the Babadook shit.
Yeah.
but also
I'm sticking with it.
it's directed by a woman and it stars a woman, and we all know you hate women, so that's what we've summarized.
No,
for
I
that.
just fucking hate
Women.
shitty films.
women.
We all know you hate women.
He hates women,
One,
Stop
just
saying
one.
he
The one woman that's directed the Babadook.
and also the actress in it.
That's
No,
women.
I'm gonna-
innit?
no ill will to
He
her.
hates women.
No, like you're
Why
not
do you
getting
keep
it.
doing this to me?
Because I don't know anything about horror films. I just come here and shit on you.
It's true. We're gonna have a fun time on this podcast together.
So
It's going to be
Babadook-
me in the middle, just defending myself on two sides. Now.
What was it? Give me another one on your list. I want to keep talking about these.
Okay,
I'm going to watch Under the Shadow.
It Comes at Night,
What's that one?
starring Joel Edgerton.
It's about when you get your post really fucking late. And you've been sitting in all day waiting for it, and you're like, oh shit, it's done it again. Joel
The
Edgerton.
existential
The
crisis of
shitty
having
postman.
to wait into a potential delivery time of 9 o'clock at night, and you know it's not going to come at actual 9 o'clock, and then it does.
5-2.
Shout out to Amazon having that wee section where it shows you where your driver is. And it's like, thank fuck for this feature.
What's it comes
And then
at
you
night?
look at the feature in the driver, and he's right fucking behind you.
That's a good horror movie. I'm going to work with that. It Comes at Night it paints itself as like a post-apocalyptic type of movie where something
Ryan's making the wank gesture to Gavin.
there's something that comes at night. There's something out there in the darkness.
A werewolf.
But then the film seems to suggest maybe there isn't, and it's something more internal within humanity that's a problem.
Oh, it's a metaphor for...
It's a metaphor.
Oh, they're the worst.
And the film has one of the darkest, most surprising endings I've seen in quite some time.
Turns out it's actually a simile.
But it came out 2 years ago, I want to say. It is a solid horror movie. Some good jump scares in that one. And it's got some really weird, like dreamlike imagery, like messed up dreamlike imagery that I'm just like, I don't know what this means, but I'm fascinated to try and figure it out. It's like, yeah, I highly recommend that movie. And yeah, the ending will destroy your soul.
That was called It Comes at Night.
It Comes at Night.
I'll put it on the list.
I'm sticking it on my list.
Of movies you're not going to watch.
Have you seen Kingpin yet, Gavin?
I've not seen Kingpin
Yeah,
yet.
well,
You gotta watch
Shocking.
Kingpin, Gav.
I'm not paying for it, for fuck's sake.
Next.
Oh, hold on. You keep doing it when I pick up my beer and I put down the phone. Suspiria, that came out last year.
With shot on an iPhone. Know that one?
No.
Which one was Suspiria?
It was the remake starring Dakota Johnson and Tilda Swinton, directed by the man who did Call Me By Your Name. And
Tilda Swinton's just a scary person.
you should see her in that movie. I think I've talked about Suspiria before in this podcast, where like I also love the original.
Oh wait, I've seen this one. Sorry, I've seen It Comes at Night.
You've seen It Comes at Night. There we
Yeah.
go. So you've seen It Comes at Night.
And
Was
I
it good?
forgot about it, so...
Was it good?
well, I forgot about it. Yeah, sure.
I'm trying to figure it.
Cool. Good review. Good review from Ryan.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that to me there. So yeah, Dario Argento. But what was the name of the guy who did the most recent one?
Your list is wanky. Let's do mine.
Your list is pretty wank, to be fair.
No, I like good horror movies. So yeah.
Nope.
That's not what we said.
Yours probably has fucking Paranormal Activity in the most recent Halloween remake.
Nope.
Simpsons horror episodes. I don't fucking.
Is your opinion of me that low?
You want me to answer that question?
Fuck you, man.
I'm sorry, you've been fucking going at me all day.
Actually, no, I haven't. He has, and I've just been laughing because it's been funny.
And you've
as
been
fuck.
joining in.
Yeah, it's
I have
been
like one
fun.
film on my list, and I don't even know if it counts as a horror film.
Ryan, give us your horror film. Favorite horror film.
The only thing that I've
If
seen...
you say The Gathering again, I'm going to be just like...
I mean, that was good, but let's leave that one out. We've talked about
Is it
that.
Shrek the Third?
No,
Shrek
because that was
Forever
scary
After.
for different reasons.
Yeah.
Is it Deep Blue Sea? With
Is that the one with
LL
Ice Cube in it?
No, LL killed you.
Are you sure?
Yep.
It's LL Cool J.
You racist.
It is LL Cool J.
That stopped him in his tracks.
Ryan, what's your favorite horror film?
I really liked Get Out, but I don't think that considers...
Oh
it's
God, this is
not
going to be
horror film.
problematic.
Yeah, it's
It's a horror film.
I wouldn't say so.
I would say it's a psychological drama.
You're a fucking
Because you're a white
psychological
man
drama.
living in...
It's not a horror movie.
What's the difference? How is a psychological drama like The Shining not a horror film?
Shining is a horror film.
What about
How does something go from a psychological drama to become a
What
horror?
about like The Witch?
Like
which
a
doesn't really have any horror
that was
elements.
psychological.
The elements in the woods are absolutely horror.
What about Midsummer?
That's one I had in my list, but I was speaking to Audio Boy earlier. I was like, would I count it as a horror? And I was like, I'm not. I mean, the imagery is terrifying.
Hereditary?
I mean, Hereditary was just an overrated film.
I mean,
But what would you class it as? A horror?
let's not
Yes, I
split
would,
hairs.
yeah. Hereditary is a horror.
If we were doing a music podcast, we would be talking about like metal music, and we'd cover like a wide genre. We're not going into sub-genres.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'd
it's
say
in,
Get Out counts as a horror.
it's in a big wide genre. It can probably be sub-genre
Okay.
to something else.
Yes, Get Out.
If it's not on the list, then I have nothing on the list. So leave it on the fucking
Get Out
list.
can absolutely be classed as a horror. But earlier I was looking through like the top horror movies of the blah blah, and for anyone who puts Get Out as number one, watch more horror movies.
Yeah, but well, we understand that, but it's only number one because it's
the
one
only-
out of one. If you think about it, it's also the last movie on my list.
This is true. Though that wasn't directed at you personally. That was just anyone out there
In this room.
listening.
Oh, okay. I really want to watch.
Ryan, you may know we're recording this and we're going to put this on the internet.
That's fine.
Okay. You just seemed perplexed when I said that other people might hear this other than the 5 of us.
Might hear your opinion.
Yeah, I know what you mean though.
Like how I said 5 of us, but there's only 3 of us talking.
Oh my god! What the
what
hell?
does it mean? Are we haunted?
Magic.
Is the flat haunted?
What did you like about Get Out? Shut the fuck up, Gavin.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Everything. I thought it was really good. It was a lot of suspense building.
Mm-hmm.
Never really knew what was going to happen.
Social and economical commentary upon race in America.
My Gavin impression's getting good. It was and then the fact that the best like undertone bit was like when the cotton saved him.
Yeah.
That was
cotton picking.
Daniel
Yeah.
Kaluuya's performance, top notch.
I mean, everyone's performance in that film is fucking.
I don't think there's a bad.
Well, there's one performance that's really quite bad.
Who?
The comedic insert at the end who just destroys the entire tone of the film.
Oh yeah.
LL
I
Cool
wouldn't
J.
say his performance is bad. I
Not
just think
LL
it's-
Cool J.
I think I wouldn't say it's bad. It's a weird choice to leave. You're right. It's a weird thing to leave in there and
it's
tonally
the
change.
constant issue that now seems to plague Jordan Peele's work, which is he can't escape his comedy side,
Yeah.
and it continues to inject into his horror side, thus making his horror films weak.
Like Tim Heidecker. Tim Heidecker literally turned up in Us.
So that scene was just so.
Is Us good? Because I really want to watch it.
It is. It's good. Yeah.
Nope. Oh, I'm doing that thing again. We're going to
Oh,
stop.
no, Gavin. You continue. Continue
No.
being a raging boner. Yeah,
What?
it's good. You should watch Us.
The fact that you don't like it means I'm definitely probably going to watch it.
Okay. I can't stop you.
Smart
but
thing to do.
There are other things you could watch instead.
Kingpin.
If you like, dude, if you liked Get Out, you'd like Us.
Yeah, I think
If that's as much brand of horror that you can cope with, Us is probably up your street.
I feel like it's something I should branch out into. It's maybe just something I've taken on from not
Same.
liking horror before and being like, right, I'll never like it, which is stupid because
Yeah.
there's lots of different stuff to watch. I'll go for it.
But yeah,
Probably should have gone for it before recording this episode of a
I probably
podcast.
watched a couple. Had something to talk about.
I was honest out the door. Like if Gavin hadn't seen any horror films, he'd still be like, "Oh, I really fucking love Skillet, this Norwegian branded horror film about."
It's about a frying pan in IKEA, and it's a metaphor for.
It's pronounced Skillet.
It's a metaphor for how the Generation Z can't afford to buy houses, and it's quite powerful and potent.
It's the best horror film of our generation. And then Gary would be like, I don't really like it. He'd be like, no.
Oh, you're like a caricature of yourself at this point.
Yeah. And the second one's called Skillet Fusion. Skillet only for men.
I'd like to say I don't think I deserve this, but I know I do. So I just.
You said something, I can't remember what it was, but you said something before the podcast, and I just decided you were getting both barrels this episode.
So, final bit of all this last episode, well, before the Sans Gary episode, you were like, yeah, we'll be fine without you. And then you told me, hey, we think we need you in the podcast because you pull things together. Neither of you has asked me what's on my list. So I'm going to come in. And
I was about to, but I was
giving Gavin the-
trawling through my fucking list for a start. That took a while.
Also, you just had to take a pause so you could rip into me for the 4th time. So now, Gary, that we've finished the 4th torturing of Gavin, so your list.
mine's
Before you
really
start your
short.
list, hold on, give me that. You can have it back when you need it. I'm just going to keep Gavin's microphone for the
Thank you.
foreseeable future.
Mine's really short. I'm not going to cover things that you've already spoken about, Gav. So The Conjuring, which we've also spoken about, I think go watch it. It's a good blend of jump frights as well as just a decent thematic horror. Willow Creek, Bobcat Goldthwait's found footage Sasquatch movie, which is... It's fucking really good. It's,
That does sound good.
Man, I stuck it on as a joke because it's so for anyone that doesn't know who Bobcat Goldthwait is, he is the guy that speaks like this in the Police Academy movies, and he directed a movie, Willow Creek, and it's fucking such a good found footage horror film. Two people go looking for Sasquatch, and they do the Sasquatch loop in America, which is like a common, like, you know,
Sasquatch
tourist
vantage point.
attraction. And they're like a young couple, and as they're filming it, they keep meeting these weird like locals. Bit Hills Have Eyesy, and then they keep going further and further into the loop and realizing, oh man, shit, this is getting like weirder and weirder as we get into it. These people are actually really serious about not finding Sasquatch, and we're asking like too many questions, and then they get followed, and like the whole movie you don't know where it's going to go, and then when it goes there, you're just like, oh, what the fuck is going on?
Is there
good.
a Sasquatch in it?
I don't want to ruin it. I want to leave that. If you go watch it, go watch it.
Okay.
It's so good though. Gav, the one issue I have with it is found footage, right? Because found footage films are a struggle to watch, but it's not Blair Witch. It's not like the found footage is all over the joint.
It's found footage of someone who knows what they're doing.
It's because they're doing interviews and they're talking to people. It's a lot of more static camera, but it does still have. So if you're not a fan of found footage films, you're not going to enjoy it. But it's a good horror film. It's a surprisingly good horror film considering it's fucking directed by Bobcat Goldthwait. And then my last one is, I can't remember the name of it. I was going to look it up before I came in, but I completely fucking forgot. Audiobook, you'll know the bit in Love, Death and Robots, Beyond the Antilles Station. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Audio Boy's face is saying he
Did you see that one, Gav? You can have your microphone back.
Yes, I have
now.
seen that. Yeah.
I have not seen that, no.
Okay, give it back.
So it's a short film, part of the Love, Death and Robots bit on Netflix. And that's got its own kind of brand. It's some stupid...
Is it not based off of Event Horizon?
It's similar. Give me a sec. Let me look this up.
They were all the shorts on
Name all of
Netflix.
them in a row. Love, Death and Robots. It was Beyond the Aquila Rift. So that's basically a guy wakes up on a space station and he doesn't know what's going on, and this woman comes out and is like, hey, we found you drifting in space. We
passengers.
we saved you. And he goes, cool, I didn't think you'd be out this far. And she's like, yeah, no, we are. Like, I love, it's good to have you here. Then there's a ridiculous sex scene that didn't need to be in there. But then when but then when it kicks in, and once you find out what the fuck's going on, jarring of the highest order. It's hella good horror, and just enjoyable, and it's all animated CGI. So yeah, there you go. I didn't want to tread on ground you treaded on, so I thought I'd come up with some left ballers.
You can have this back.
Curveballs.
I'm back, baby.
So yeah, there we go. That's my very short list because he talks about most of it, and then you covered a bunch.
That's what I do, baby. I've only said baby twice. Three times now.
You said it quite a lot. Baby's such a weird nickname to have for someone because it starts off innocent, and it is innocent, but calling someone that you care and love baby it's just weird when you think about it.
It is really weird.
Hey,
I've
baby.
got this weird thing that I only call my girlfriend baby when I'm really, really tired. Never call her ever. But when I'm really tired, I'd call her it. And she's like, what? And I'm like, what?
Well, it's the opposite of your girlfriend calling you daddy. And
Yeah.
that's creepy as fuck from the start. But nobody really thinks about how when you call your girlfriend like, hey baby.
Do you know what's worse? Is calling yourself daddy. Hey, Gav.
Big Daddy Gav.
Cut. Cut out.
Right. Has anyone got final thoughts, closing words for the episode?
I apologise to all the listeners, and I promise that now I'm here more often, my input will be more than over the
Just watch some
past
fucking horror
episodes.
movies before. If we usually give you like a week's notice, just do a little bit of research.
Too little, too late.
I mean, I've got a whole bunch of topics lined up that we'll be able to.
And we have been saying this. We've been reading through your list of topics. We do it so often, and then we always say next week we're going to talk about this, and we never fucking do.
But
So
what I'm thinking we should.
we'll decide it off mic.
Yes.
Why
but-
don't we do a little Instagram poll? Or a little something that people can get involved in.
Facebook is where we get a lot of.
Or Facebook and stuff, and people can start maybe having a bit of input. If there's anything anyone wants to hear, let us know. If you want to put something to us for us to discuss,
Yeah, fuck it. We'll put it
Which
up
we
on
will.
After this, we're
I
going to
know
put it
what
up
we
on
should do.
Instagram and Twitter.
We
We're
should
gonna do a
ask
poll.
people to write in with time codes of what their favorite.
right in, all right, Blue Peter.
Thank you. You'll get a badge if you do it. What their favorite Gavin moments are. Give us a time code, and then we'll make a week compilation.
I'm going to stop you, man, because you're going to be super sad. Next week, you're going to come on, and I'm
make
going
a
to
wee-
ask you how many time codes of favorite bits did you get?
And
you're
your
gonna go,
brother's going to do it to be nice, and that's it.
We'll get a compilation together of those moments.
I might fuck editing that together.
Yeah, that's it. Remember, like, Phil gets this nice little breakup of, I get to listen to a different voice that isn't Gavin's, but that's just your voice all the fucking time.
Right. Let's fucking wrap
I
it.
think it's a gem.
Thank
of
you
an
so much
idea.
for listening, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Meandering Movie Podcast. The end of our horror double bill.
Double
Grindhouse.
penetration of horror.
But don't worry,
Creature
everyone,
feature.
because I'll definitely talk about more horror in the
Fucked it.
That's what's killed Gavin.
coming episodes.
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram by just searching for the Meandering Movie Podcast. You can get us on Twitter at Meandering Pod. Gmail is the Meandering Movie Podcast at gmail.com.
If you're on iTunes, there are links in the description down below for
Everything's
all of
there.
that.
Spotify.
We are now on Spotify.
If you fucking hate your iPhone and you hate the iTunes podcast app, if you hate listening to us on Acast or SoundCloud,
We're not on
we
Acast.
are
We're
on
not on
Spotify.
Acast, so
Here we are.
nope,
Are we not?
nope, never been.
You should get us
We're
on
on,
Acast.
we're on
tried.
Castbox, which is kind of like the Dababook version of Acast.
We're also, I mean, we've had SoundCloud for Android users, but now we have Spotify for the world.
We've got
Yeah,
Spotify.
everyone's got Spotify.
So yeah,
Follow us on Insta-
if
on
you've been listening
Spotify.
to us on anything else, we've made it easy. If you've got Spotify, you can listen to us on Spotify.
For people who have extra apps on their phone specifically for this podcast, thank you. But now you can just do it in one.
They just do
Thank you.
Spotify and just follow us over there and listen to every single episode.
Do you
up
guys
until
notice that
this
you
one.
weren't on Spotify until I joined? Like, I'm not saying it's a coincidence, but...
No, I've just been trying for a really long time, and algorithm.
Like, fucking hell, he's like Andy Dufresne. He sent like a
algorithms.
letter every week, like Andy Dufresne. He's like, just let the fucking
They've
podcast
finally
on.
made it so easy to get Spotify, and up until now, it's been nigh on impossible. But I did it, baby.
it has
I
been,
got us on
it's
Spotify.
been nigh on impossible.
Nigh on impossible.
That's what you're
They
saying.
kept sending back letters saying we don't.
Why are you doing everything in letters still?
I'm sorry.
Write some fucking emails, Gav.
I'm old fashioned like that. I've never sent a single letter in my life.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode. Ryan, you joining us next week?
Yeah.
Fuck it. Third host. Fourth host. He's
Ryan
in.
will be joining the podcast on a more consistent basis, and I will slowly be phased out and just have to sit in my room while the two of them record the podcast, and I listen on with envy.
I'm proud you said phased out without making a Star Trek reference, though.
I'm gonna get.
Nah, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. So won't you lend an ear?
Wah, wah, wah.